Welcome back to Ken Whitefield. Welcome back to Ken Whitefield here in Waleska, Georgia. Lorenzo Robinson on the call for Game 2 of our doubleheader between the Reinhardt Eagles and the Knights of St. Andrews. Reinhardt currently up on the Knights 2-0 so far in this series. Won both games in blowout fashion. A 12-2 victory in their matchup on Friday night, and followed that up with a 12-1 victory just moments ago. St. Andrews getting a man on early as the catcher Samuel Rosario gets on base. It's a very windy day outside, so it will be interesting to see how the elements will impact this matchup. Man on the mound for the Reinhardt Eagles, number 16, Alex Galvez. Galvez, a Panama City native, formerly of Coffeyville Community College. Galvez will be making his 4th appearance of the season, his 3rd start. So far this year, he's been very strong. He's pitched 11 innings, surrendered only 9 runs, only 1 earned. So it does appear that the umpire is a bit compromised after taking one to his hand. Seems like he'll receive some attention with that, and will return when everything gets back to normal. So apparently the baseball hit off of the umpire's hand, and after a long and lengthy discussion with the trainer, he appears to be okay. So resetting the scene, the count is 1-1, and Rosario is able to take second base. He was flying as soon as that pitch went out of the hands of Galvez. So now Rosario gets into scoring position. Counts 2-1 at the plate. That pitch by Galvez is low for ball number 3. Count remains 3-1. This one grounded and fouled off right near the St. Andrews dugout. You better text me before he leaves so you can be like, yeah, but That pitch is low and into the dirt for ball number 4. So now 2 men on for the Knights. Now Garrett Wolf. Wolf making his way up to the plate. Second baseman. Wolf 1 for 4 in the previous game against Reinhardt. This one a grounder and fouled off. Counts 0-2. Another grounder and is clipped off of the headgear of Reinhardt's backstop. It appears that there will be a meeting on the mound. Coach Burton going to discuss things with Galvez as well as the entirety of Reinhardt's infield. It's now set to resume play. Counts 0-2. This one is popped up by Wolf. A few Eagles are around it. Crawls underneath it. And he does not secure it. It leaks out of his glove. And the at-bat for Wolf will continue. An unfortunate mistake there from Nash Kroll. The at-bat remains alive for Wolf. Count remains 0-2. Again, the Knights with 2 men on, trying to start fast here in this matchup against the Eagles. Another one popped up by Wolf. And this one will be corralled. That's Dylan Lewis out in right field. So that's out number 2 here in the top of the first inning, with Aiden Wilson coming up to the plate. Wilson, the third baseman, went 1 for 3 in the last game against Reinhardt. Swing and a miss from Wilson, and strike number 1. Knights in both games were able to score early on. They were not able to string consecutive runs together, and that was an issue for them in both games so far in this series, and that can be something that definitely does damage to this team, especially when going against Reinhardt, a group that is known for putting up runs in bunches. Usually for them, when it rains, it pours. So you have to give yourself ample opportunities to put pressure on them, especially in the earlier stages of the game. And now it's even more imperative with this game being 7 innings due to it being the latter half of the doubleheader. St. Andrews needs to put themselves in position to start fast. Swing and miss from Wilson, and they will not start fast in this one. As we move on to the bottom of the first, we are still scoreless in Waleska. Now set to resume play here in the bottom of the first inning. It's 0-0. St. Andrews held scoreless, leaving 2 runners stranded. They had a great chance to put some runs on the board and apply some early pressure to the Reinhardt Eagles. They were unable to do so. Parker Doyle hit a home run in the first game of this doubleheader. God is looking for similar success in this one. An home run that Doyle hit in game 1 was his first of the season, and Doyle stays hot. That one leaks into center field, and he gets on base with a leadoff single. And after that one, Dylan Lewis, the right fielder, now coming up to the plate for Reinhardt. Lewis, like most other players on the team, a very strong outing. 2 for 4 in the first game of this series. And then 2 for 4 in the first game of the doubleheader. That pitch outside for ball number 1. Lewis pops this one up in the shallow center, and it drops. 3 St. Andrews players were around it, but the wind just made that ball take on a mind of its own. It drops into extremely shallow right center. Now 2 men on base for the Eagles. Lewis at first, Doyle at second, with Tucker Zad. And another pick attempt there, trying to keep Doyle at bay at second. That pitch, a strike. Man on the mound for this game, Jacob Thorson for St. Andrews. Thorson, the junior righty out of Oak Creek, Wisconsin. And Zadunic pops this one up. Will the wind carry it? Yes, it will. It goes over the wall and gone. Initially off the bat, it seemed like a routine pop-up, but the wind just takes that one. And again, folks, the wind is giving the ball a mind of its own. A homer for Tucker Zadunic. A 3-run shot, and Reinhardt is on the board. It didn't look like Zadunic got extremely clean contact on that one, but the wind is really making some things happen out here. So Zadunic with a home run. That is now Zadunic's 14th consecutive game with a hit. It's also Zadunic's 5th home run of the season.
I didn't show them anything. I didn't show David anything. I haven't seen the score. Oh. I said that if you looked at it, it's part of the other. Oh my God. CJ knows. Let me see it. I mean, it's not over, but I do know. It's overtime? No. Oh, is that behind? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Oh no, the website's frozen. They probably call the timeout.
Counts 1 and 2. Still nobody gone. And that pitch was extremely inside, very narrowly escaping the body of Adrian Vargas.
They go that way every single day. Every day.
There's one school that way, and then nothing.
Trees. Could be a fire.
Vargas pops this one up over the net and fouled off. That pitch low and into the dirt for ball number 4. So Vargas makes his way to first base. And now Nash Kroll, the first baseman, comes up to the plate. Kroll did not have a great outing against St. Andrews in the first game of this doubleheader. Went 0 for 2. You do have to feel like he is due for something special.
You leave another score and Tara and Ashley. Ivana has 0 points. Ivana at least throws in like 6, 8 points at minimum.
I think.
And if you give her 6, 8 points, you're winning right now.
They might be targeting her.
That is true.
That pitch, a strike from Thorson. The Eagles a chance to continue to add to their newfound lead, put even more pressure on St. Andrews. A grounder. And it was bobbled there.
Now batting, number 10, the third baseman, Reinhardt.
So that one gets bobbled by the second baseman, Wolf. He can't corral it. Now there's a man on first and second for the Eagles. Still nobody gone.
What would have happened? Would that have been tied game?
I would have made it 58, 59. I don't know.
Like a 4-play game.
Do they have the ball?
Yeah.
Do they have the ball now? Does that say 7-3-7?
Yeah. We fouled them, I think.
Jared Burney coming up to the plate. Burney went 3 for 5 in the first matchup between these two teams earlier today. Also hit a home run along with 3 RBIs. And that pitch inside.
Down 3, it might have been a little bit better. Down 4.
It's probably over.
It's a 5-point game. Really doesn't have to win them.
Oh, yeah.
Grounder by Burney, and it goes into the gap. Vargas was rounding third and headed home, but he thinks better of it. But he's at third. Nash Kroll's also at third. So Kroll in a bit of a sticky situation. Kroll gets tagged out. And what a way for Reinhardt to get their first out of this game. A bit of miscommunication along the base pass. It seemed like Adrian Vargas was going to attempt to go home. Instead, he thought better of it and made his way back to third. But Nash Kroll mistakenly joined him at third base as well. So Kroll gets tagged out. That's Reinhardt's first out of the game. with still runners in the corners, a man on first and third.
What did you put for Nash there?
That one I just did 5, 6.
Now Luis Mendoza coming up to the plate.
9, 3, 5, 6.
Mendoza, the shortstop,
I knew it came from there, and then
I thought the girls went.
went 3 for 4 in the first game of this doubleheader.
And a conference champ. I think he still holds the playoff.
surely.
Imagine being 21-0 or whatever, and then you lose 23-0, and you lose 2 games, and you don't win conference.
That's why it's so much better to start worse and then show.
Started in perfect. It just keeps a lot of movement.
Yeah.
Keeps a lot of pressure.
Is the tournament Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday?
I thought it was Thursday, Friday, maybe Saturday.
This one too, man.
Counts now 0-1.
Wednesday. I think, and the girls are.
Mendoza fouls this one off over the net.
I don't know how it works. For the tournament? Yeah. Yeah, they do get live. I just stopped watching. I don't think they're that good.
What kind of fan do you
Yeah.
Mendoza, well hit ball in the right center, but it will drop. Nonetheless, the Eagles will be able to score a run as Adrian Vargas makes his way home.
For real. Tony's gonna be like really good. He just needed to get one game.
4 runs to none is the score after Vargas makes his way home after that sac fly from Luis Mendoza. So now after a bit of miscommunication, set to resume play. Here in the bottom of the first inning, Reinhardt ahead 4 runs to none against the Knights of St. Andrews. Lance Dockery at the plate. And Lance Dockery's home run, his 3-run shot, effectively ended the first game of this doubleheader.
Between Lance and Sutton, they got the hottest 2 hitters this far.
Dockery continuing his strong season thus far and really continuing the upward trajectory that he showcased just last season. Arguably Reinhardt's most improved player at the plate. Count now standing at 2-0.
Me too.
That pitch is a strike.
Yeah. Oh shoot. Could you imagine a Slim Jeff playing? I forgot the car.
This one a grounder by Dockery, and it will not be recovered by the second baseman. Jared Burney easily scores It is now 5-0 in favor of the Eagles.
Martin.
So the second baseman, Wolf, having a very tough go at it so far in the first inning. Could not corral that one. And now the backstop for Reinhardt, Dylan Martin making his way up to the plate. He is the 9th and final man in Reinhardt's batting order. So Reinhardt going one complete time through the order here in just the first inning. It has been a dominant showing right now for the Eagles. Of course, St. Andrews is not out of it. Definitely a chance to put themselves back into the game with a few momentum swings, maybe get some big-time hits. But right now, it is all Reinhardt. A few nights around this one, and it will be corralled, and that concludes the first inning. And after one, Reinhardt in control, 5-0.
I'm meeting my buddies out on the lake. We're headed out to a special place we love. That just a few folks know. There's no signing up, no monthly due. Take your Johnson, your Murphy, or your ribbon room. Fire up. Meet us out at Party Cove. Come on in, the water's fine. Just dive on over and toss us a line. Fast tracks, taillighters, and a party bar. Strung together like a floating trailer park. Anchored out and getting loud all summer long. Side to side, there's 5 houseboat front porches. After turn long chairs and tiki torches. Regular Joes rocking the boat that's fun. Redneck Yacht Club. Bermuda flip-flops and a tank top tan. He popped his first top at 10 a.m. That's Bob. He's a resident. We're checking out the girls on the upper deck, rubbing in the 15 SPF. It's hot. Everybody's jumping in. Now batting, number 24, the left fielder, Evan Martin.
Set to resume play here in the second inning. Reinhardt again in control, 5 runs to none. St. Andrews is reeling right now. Isaiah Martin, the outfielder, is up to the plate for the Knights. And this one hit over the net and foul. Galvez remains on the mound for the Eagles after a strong start to his outing. And the Knights starting the season off so solid at 7-3, coming off of a series victory against an Appalachian Athletic Conference foe as Martin gets struck out. But they're coming off of a series victory against a fellow Appalachian Athletic Conference foe in the Union Bulldogs. So 7-3 and 2-1 in the conference play coming into this series against the Reinhardt Eagles. And for Reinhardt, despite their series victory over Chura McConnell, it has not been the most ideal start for their team. Now, of course, they played a very tough schedule, facing many top 10 opponents and several others receiving votes. But the script has been completely flipped between these two squads here in this series. Reinhardt dominating each of the first 2 matchups between them. And right now, they look like they're en route to yet another dominant win. So the count currently standing at 1 ball and 2 strikes. This one a grounder, but it goes foul on the wrong side of the line. And again, I spoke about this earlier, but for anyone who was not tuned in for the first game between these two teams, this is not the worst thing for Reinhardt. This is actually probably the best case scenario for them to be able to have a series like this against St. Andrews, because things are going to ratchet up very quickly for them and in a hurry. They're going to match up next on Tuesday against Point on the road, a Point team that last season, as Ojea strikes out swinging, but a Point team that last season really took it to the Reinhardt Eagles here in Waleska during their series against each other. And then after that, they will have a 3-game series at home against Tennessee Wesleyan, a team that has pretty much existed as the big bad wolf of the Appalachian Athletic Conference over the last handful of years. Another top 10 opponent and by far the biggest threat to the Eagles when it comes to competing for an Appalachian Athletic Conference crown. Right now, Beber is up to the plate. Beber, the first baseman. He went 1 for 3 in the first game of this doubleheader. Count is 1-1. Beber rips that one, but Jared Burney gets it in the air. Nice defensive play there from Jared Burney, getting that off the bat of Beber. As we get set to change sides, Reinhardt still ahead, 5-0. Set to resume play here in the bottom of the second inning. Reinhardt ahead, 5-0. Parker Doyle back up to the plate for the Eagles.
I just sent you guys the schedule for that tournament, that flag one. Tony just emailed it to me.
Like what times and everything?
Yeah. Great.
They really have it?
Count currently standing at 2-0.
I thought that was just an idea. And her,
I thought the same thing.
her plan is to run the.
Dang, yeah.
I was thinking.
Oh yeah, David, look at this
I
thing. That's right. She got a wild amount of things.
What is it for?
I need something.
Count currently standing at 3-1.
Number 8, the right fielder, Dylan Lewis.
You know what West Coast people is gonna tell me? This is too West Coast.
So Doyle is walked to first base. Dylan Lewis coming up to the plate for the Eagles.
No, they don't. They have a break. in
Lewis is
the
1 for 1 so far in this game.
Really?
Hey, y'all have fun with that.
I'll be there.
I'll be praying for it.
Is that Friday, Saturday? That's one day, isn't it? That's all day.
That's Friday, Saturday.
What do we plan on doing to run it?
I have no idea. She's not told us anything.
Swing and miss there from Lewis, and strike 2. Gap shot there from Lewis.
No, that's after spring break.
He gets himself on base with a single, and Doyle moves into scoring position at second. Tucker Zadunik coming up to the plate. Zadunik 1 for 1 so far in this one. Again, Zadunik currently in the midst of a 14-game hitting streak.
Besides one men's cross game.
Count currently standing at 2-0. Again, Reinhardt with 2 men on, nobody gone. And this game can very likely turn ugly for St. Andrews if things don't turn around for them quickly. Thorson on the mound needs to try to get control of the game.
Reinhardt only plays once the first day. And then they play twice on Saturday.
Hopefully she says just don't worry about stats for anything.
Oh, I feel like we can tell her that.
Yeah, and just let it be a whole round robin and just get the final score, no stats.
Yeah.
Because it really doesn't matter.
It's literally impossible to.
Yeah, that's what matters, not like the player stats.
It's not possible. We don't even do awards.
Yeah.
She could tell her own people to do stats.
Yeah, they could like write it down.
Yeah, they could keep track of touchdowns.
Thorson with the pitch. Outside, and pardon me, it's actually a strike. That's why the umpire gets paid to do this job and I don't. Count stands at 3-2. And pitch inside for ball number 4. The bases are now loaded for the...
Now batting number 4, the left fielder, Adrian Vargas.
sure it's Tennessee.
So the count remains 1-0. Bases are loaded for the Eagles. Adrian Vargas is at the plate. And that pitch, a strike from Thorson. Thorson has struggled going up against this extremely potent Reinhardt lineup. The Knights already down 5 runs to nothing. No men gone here in the second inning. And Thorson throwing 2 consecutive strikes after a mound visit featuring Coach Andy Fox and the rest of the infield. So maybe that's what Thorson needed to get himself refocused and give his team a chance to stop the bleeding a little bit, because Reinhardt looks primed to open this one up big. That pitch is thrown inside for a ball. Count is now 2-2. This one well hit by Vargas. He got underneath that one, but it has warning track power. Nonetheless, the Eagles will score another run. So a sac fly for Adrian Vargas. It is now 6-0 in favor of the Eagles.
Number 30, the first baseman, Cole.
And now Nash Kroll coming up to the plate. Kroll still looking for a hit during this doubleheader. And again, if you're a fan of the Eagles, you know how potent the bat of Nash Kroll is. You have to figure that he is definitely due to make something happen sooner rather than later. We'll see if it will happen on this at-bat. That pitch inside for ball 1. Chopper by Kroll, and he grounds out. Runners remain at second and third. Jared Burney coming up to the plate. 2 men gone, and a strike there from Thorson. And to Thorson's credit, he has definitely pitched a lot better ever since that mound visit from his coach and the rest of the infield. You can tell that he's starting to refocus a little bit and settle into the game. And the score right now is 6 runs to none, but there are still chances for St. Andrews to get themselves back into it. But it will be a lot more difficult if Reinhardt is able to put any more runs on the board. So important for Thorson to try to stop the bleeding here and halt the momentum that Reinhardt is building. And Jarrett Burney's been hot all throughout today. Went 3 of 5 in the first game of the doubleheader, 1 for 1 so far. So you know that he is definitely liable to make something happen at the plate. It would be big for this team to be able to come up with a huge out here at the end of the second. And then for Reinhardt, they want to keep the ball rolling and keep their forward momentum going. A grounder by Burney. Will he be able to make it to first? No, he will not. So Jarrett Burney grounds out, and that concludes the second inning. And after 2, Reinhardt firmly in control, 6 runs to none.
Long.
Chance Blum coming up to the plate for St. Andrews. Blum did not appear in the first game of this doubleheader. This is the first time that we will see him here in Waleska. He pops this one up, and it goes over the line and fouled off. Chance Blum, the native of Dublin, Georgia. Freshman making. Blum a grounder. Kroll secures it, and the throw will be made. And that's out number 1 here in the 3rd inning.
Now batting number 14, the shortstop, Maria.
So now that was our first time completely through St. Andrews' order. And now Murillo, the shortstop, comes back up to the plate. The leadoff man is 0 for 1 so far in this ball game. St. Andrews really struggling. A strong outing so far from Alex Galvez. Already with 3 strikeouts in this game, has not surrendered a single earned run so far. Only giving up 1 hit so far in this game as well. So everything going right so far for the Eagles, and conversely, everything going wrong for the Knights. This one fouled off. Count is now 1-2.
Actually had 19. No one else had.
That's where it needed like 15 from Maria. That's a win.
This one popped up. A few Eagles around it, and it will be secured by Parker Doyle.
Now batting number 2, the catcher, Rosario.
So 2 men gone already for the Knights as Samuel Rosario, the catcher, comes up to the plate. Rosario 1 for 1 so far in this one, the only Knight to record a hit in this ball game. He clips this one into the net and foul.
It's like a wind tunnel.
Wind's pulling it.
As soon as I opened it shut, I was like,
This one into the dirt. And a strike.
Giant strike.
Count stands at 1-2. Well hit ball in the center field. Will it drop? Yes, it will. So Rosario has 2 hits. The rest of St. Andrew's lineup, 0 combined. So all of the heavy lifting so far being done by Samuel Rosario. And the hope is that at some point that his teammates, or at least a few of them, will join him in their crusade against the Reinhardt Eagles. But right now, he is a one-man army, and it has been a struggle for him and his ball club. That pitch low and into the dirt for ball number 1. This one is grounded, and it finds a gap. And all of a sudden, the Knights starting to build some momentum now with 2 men on base.
Now batting number 9, the second baseman, Garrett Wolf.
He said Lorenzo's over there talking about one-man wrecking crew.
Strike thrown there by Galvez. Count now stands at 3-1. 2 runners in scoring position for the Knights. All of a sudden, here come the Knights starting to build some momentum. Can they take advantage? This one is popped up. Parker Doyle is under it. And he corrals it. And the Knights leave 2 runners stranded at second and third. Unfortunate situation there for the Knights. Eagles still ahead, 6-0. Set to resume play here in the bottom of the third inning.
The one that popped up.
See, I want to put my shades on, but I can't have shades. I want to take pictures.
35.
Reinhardt currently ahead 6-0, firmly in control of this one.
Yeah.
It has been a bit of a struggle so far for St. Andrews. Right there, they had a golden opportunity to get themselves on the board. Runners on second and third, but they were unable to come away with a single run. And again, because this is the latter half of the doubleheader, this is a 7-inning ball game, so St. Andrews may not have many more chances or many better chances to put themselves in position. Count stands at 2-2.
Not mine. Mine doesn't even bark.
So a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
First baseman with pitcher, single to right, single.
Mendoza hits this one near the Reinhardt dugout and foul.
Yeah, we're missing an out.
Because he was the final out, right?
The one that popped up, yeah.
Do y'all have record of that? I definitely have it. It's trying to wait for the party. This dude's single. This dude popped up. This dude's single.
It was back-to-back single.
Yeah.
And then pop-up.
Mendoza, grounder. And the throw was made at first, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the third inning.
This is like the full play-by-play.
So now Lance Dockery. Dockery coming up to the plate.
Yeah.
He's 1 for 1 so far in this game. Again, the highlight of his day was that home run to end the first matchup of this doubleheader.
Mario, he popped up, he singled, and then this dude singled, and then
Now batting number 19, the catcher, Dylan Martin.
Count is 3-2, a full count here. St. Andrews trying to keep the Eagles at bay for the first time in this game, but it will have to wait. At least one batter more will make their way to the batter's box as Dylan Martin makes his way to first base.
Watch, I can edit this.
so you can go ahead and edit that.
To Maria.
So Martin gets walked, and now Jacob Prophet comes in as a pinch runner. Prophet, one of the better base runners in the country. For the last 2 seasons, he has been among the NAIA leaders in stolen bases. So something to watch out for as Parker Doyle makes his way back up to the plate. Doyle's 1 for 1 so far today. He kicked things off with an early leadoff single to start the game. He's hoping to remain hot for Reinhardt. Doyle's had a strong day so far, especially when factoring in what he was able to do in the first game of this doubleheader. With a nice home run as well over the left field wall. But if St. Andrews can hold Reinhardt scoreless in this inning, it can go a long way towards them giving themselves a chance. Now, so far in this series, the Knights have not proven that they are that capable of putting up runs in bunches in the same way that the Eagles can, but you have to continue to give yourself bites at the apple, continue to give yourself chances, and it can become much harder if the lead is any larger than what it is now. Already down by 6 runs is admittedly a tall task, but you want to give yourself the best possible chance to get back into the ball game. And then the pick-me-up this can do for the confidence of Thorson on the mound. He struggled so much so far in this game. Being able to secure this out here would go a long way towards him restoring some of that confidence that may have been lost throughout the first 2 innings of this one. And you can tell that there's special attention being paid to Jacob Prophet at first. Absolutely a threat to steal. And he tried to go for it there, but it's fouled off by Doyle.
I was just sorry against This is the
When I say that Jacob Prophet is always a threat to steal, it is not an exaggeration. Prophet in 2021 with 20 stolen bases, in 2022 amongst the top 5 stolen base leaders in the country with 31, and then last season followed that up with 23. And again, Prophet was looking to make his way to second. Instead, Doyle fouls it off at the plate. And Prophet so far with 3 stolen bases in the first 14 games of the year. So Jacob Prophet with 77 steals over the course of his 4-year career. Well, it's more like 3 in 14 games so far.
It's gotta be like he good.
Count currently stands at 1-2. Prophet looking for second, but he will get caught stealing. A tremendous defensive play by the catcher Rosario, and that concludes the inning. Reinhardt held scoreless in the 3rd, but still ahead, 6-0. Set to resume play here in the fourth inning. Reinhardt ahead, 6 runs to nothing against the Knights of St. Andrews. Aiden Wilson, the third baseman, back up to the plate. Wilson 0 for 1 so far in this ball game. Galvez remains on the mound for the Eagles. He's been superb so far. Across his first 3 innings, 3 strikeouts, has only walked 1 batter. Count right now is 1-2. That pitch is low and into the dirt for ball number 2. Count knotted up at 2 apiece. The pitch, it's high and very nearly strikes Wilson. He was able to get out of the way. So now a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Wilson gets walked. Knights get a man on to lead things off. And Isaiah Martin, the outfielder, now comes up to the plate. Isaiah Martin also hitless so far in this one. That pitch a strike from Galvez. St. Andrews again had a golden chance to cut into this lead that Reinhardt has built. In the previous inning, they had a situation where there were 2 runners in scoring position, a man on second and a man on third. They were left the runners stranded, man on second and a man on third with just 1 out on the board. They were not able to convert. That pitch is high for ball number 2. But you have to wonder at some point if they can hold Reinhardt at bay at 6 runs for a little while longer, that the Knights will try to find themselves back into this ball game. Of course, if you're a fan of the Eagles, you're hoping to see more of the same, more of what you've seen, as it has been a dominant weekend so far for the hometown Reinhardt Eagles. Count currently standing at 3-1. That pitch is high for ball 4. So 2 consecutive walks there. Galvez only walked 1 batter in the first 3 innings. Now 2 walks in just the 4th. Now a man on first and a man in scoring position at second base. Adrian Ojea comes up to the plate. Ojea is 0 for 1 so far in this ball game, the outfielder. That pitch, a strike from Galvez. Reinhardt has been very solid here at home, but I would be remiss if I wouldn't bring up some of the issues they've had in a few games with walks, specifically their matchup against Cumberland a few weeks ago, as Ojea fouls this one over the net. In their matchup against Cumberland, they lost 11-7, but 4 of the runs that Cumberland scored came by way of walks during a bases-loaded situation. So there is some history with Reinhardt putting themselves into the hole with giving up a few walks. They will try to stop history from repeating itself against the Knights of St. Andrews. Meanwhile, St. Andrews looking for any way that they can to build some momentum. So if they have to be walked on base, then so be it. They're just trying to get themselves back into the ball game. That pitch is high for ball 3, and now a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Another full count for Galvez. Galvez has been faced with 2 of these already. In both occasions, he threw ball 4. What will he do in this situation? The pitch from Galvez. A grounder off the foot of Galvez. Now the bases are loaded for St. Andrews. That one took a fortuitous bounce off the foot of Adrian Ojea. Now 3 men on base for the Knights. All of a sudden, this game can get very interesting in a hurry. Beber, the first baseman, coming up to the plate. Beber 0 for 1 so far in this game. Bases loaded, no outs for St. Andrews, and you have to figure that this is going to be their chance to put themselves in position to get on the board and eat away at the lead that Reinhardt has built. Swing and a miss there from Beber. He wanted all of that one. Instead, swings and misses for strike 1. Things can get very interesting here. St. Andrews, a huge chance. 2 consecutive strikes thrown by Galvez. And when you're losing, especially with an early deficit in sports, you never want to be down big early. But there is a bit of a sense of freedom that some players play with when they're down. Just a what do you have to lose type of mindset. It just allows you to go out there and just play sometimes your best ball. And maybe that's what St. Andrews needed, to be able to just kind of relax and play their game. Bases are loaded. A ball in play and a run likely scores. Swing and a miss there, and strike 3. Now the Knights do not want a repeat of what happened in the previous inning where they left 2 runners stranded in scoring position. Chance Bloom, the center fielder, is back up to the plate for the Knights. That pitch is low for ball 1. This one fouled off into the net. Count now stands at 1-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Just like that, 2 outs are on the board for the Knights. Absolutely in danger of leaving 3 runners stranded on base. Now Cesar Murillo, shortstop, is coming back up to the plate. Murillo's 0 for 2 so far in this ball game. Swing and a miss there from Murillo for strike 1. Again, bases are loaded for St. Andrews. They have to feel good, or had to feel good, about the situation that they were in to eat away at the lead that Reinhardt had built. But right now, already 2 men gone. That pitch from Galvez is low for ball number 1. And just putting one in play would do wonders for St. Andrews. Getting a base hit could potentially bring one run in or even more. That pitch, a strike from Galvez. Count is now 1-2. St. Andrews already left 2 runners stranded in the third. This would be a 1-up on that one. 3 runners on base. Galvez trying to get out of the jam. Counts 1-2. Galvez with the pitch. A grounder. It's corralled. The throw was made at third, and Galvez successfully navigates his way out of a bases-loaded jam. What a job there by Galvez. St. Andrews can't convert. The score remains 6-0.
Doyle.
It cannot always be nice.
St. Andrews was unable to convert. They had a great situation with the bases loaded, no outs on the board, and they were unable to put any runs on the board. It is still 6-0 in favor of the Eagles, and Parker Doyle, the leadoff guy for this inning, takes one right into the back. You could see him wince as that one struck him.
You know what West Coast Cops is going to tell me? This is too West Coast.
Oh, wait.
Don't do it then.
I can delete it.
Do it all the way at the beginning and then it should update.
So Sean Taylor, the right-handed pitcher,
Did he start?
striking Doyle.
So go back to that season. Bottom of the third. Bottom of the third. Yours does update.
What was that?
Oh, wait. Yeah. You strike looking. And you pick up one.
So Dylan Lewis at the plate. Another strong outing for Lewis. He's 2 for 2 so far in this ball game.
David, how do you put a pick off? Do you?
Yeah,
Where do you put that?
Is it POA? No. It's POA, isn't it? Dude, that's if you get to pick. I think a pick off attempt is just POA. I don't think because Holly puts in a pick off attempt every single time they throw it over.
Right here for the first baseman? For first base?
That pitch inside for ball number 2.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever put that in.
I just know for a fact that she does every single time.
Really?
Because we talked about it once. That was
This one hit, ripped, and it goes on the wrong side of the left field line and foul. Count stands again at 2-2. One man already on base as Parker Doyle was struck by a Taylor pitch. And Lewis rips this one in the left center, and it will drop. So Lewis 3 for 3 so far in this game.
Now batting number 7, the designated hitter, Tucker Zadona.
Tucker Zadunik coming up to the plate for Reinhardt. Zadunik 1 for 1 so far in this ball game. Two men on for the Eagles as they have a chance to extend their lead even further, already up 6 runs to nothing. Obviously, you could never say never. We've seen crazier things happen, but Reinhardt has to love where they are so far in this game. Counts 1-1.
No. That looked like it. Looking at the field. He's ready to go. Dude, that's them outside.
Swing and miss there from Zadunik. And strike 2. So the count knotted up at 2 apiece. And I spoke about it before, but there is no understating how impressive this is. Zadunik was already made an All-American team as a member of the Eagles, currently in the midst of a 14-game hitting streak. That pitch off the plate and escapes the grasp of the catcher. Both runners will advance. Now 2 men in scoring position for the Eagles, and they are in prime position to add to their already 6-run advantage.
I'm a Vanderbilt baseball. My dad finished there. And Davis, like I say, what they can find. My dad. They played on lunch.
Oh, okay, never mind. Your sentence earlier.
That pitch high and outside for ball number 4. And now the bases are loaded for the Eagles. And this is eerily similar to what we saw in the top of this inning when St. Andrews had the bases loaded with no outs on the board. Now, unfortunately for the Knights, they were unable to take advantage of that as they came away with no runs out of that situation. So we'll see first what Reinhardt will be able to do in this situation with the bases being loaded, and we will also be able to see if Sean Taylor can do what Galvez for the Eagles was able to do, and that's get himself out of the jam. That pitch is low and into the dirt for ball number 1. Counts now 1-1.
RJ Ellison, like, this looks like he looks like
Oh, okay.
nice. A lot different, but dude, he's come over bases like the last 3 times.
This one hit by Vargas, a grounder. So down goes Vargas, but 1 run scores for the Eagles. It is now 7-0. So Reinhardt able to get themselves on the board here in the 4th inning. And Nash Kroll, the first baseman, back at the plate. And it has been a bit of a struggle for Nash Kroll over the last few games. So far, 0 for 2 in this one. Again, Reinhardt fans and certainly his teammates and Coach Burton know exactly what Kroll is capable of. I feel like it's just a matter of time before he regains his footing and finds his stride. Kroll hits this one, and a nice play there made by Aiden Wilson, the third baseman.
Now that, number 10, the third baseman, Bernie.
Aiden Wilson's made more than a few highlight reel plays from that third base spot. Now Jared Burney at the plate for Reinhardt. Burney 1 for 2 so far in this ball game. That one into the dirt. Ball number 2.
I don't know why the triple headers are out when how many games are 4?
A chopper by Burney. It's corralled. The throw was made at first. Another nice play made in the field by Aiden Wilson, and that concludes the 4th inning. Reinhardt adds another run to their total. It's 7-0. Eagles. It's now set to resume play. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning, Reinhardt ahead, 7 runs to none. Marcerio Allen in the game for Reinhardt. That pitch low and into the dirt for ball number 1. Count currently standing at 1-1. Fouls this one off right near the St. Andrews dugout.
His mom's side of the family is Trinidad, from Trinidad.
But he's never lived in
This one a chopper. It's corralled, and the out is made at first base.
Now batting, number 15, the center fielder, Lance Dockery.
So after that quick out from Allen, Lance Dockery makes his way back up to the plate. Dockery 1 for 2 so far in this one. Does have an RBI, which came in the 1st inning. Reinhardt put up a 5 spot in the bottom of the 1st, and that 5 spot doing the heavy lifting so far in the advantage that they have, 7 runs to none. Eagles looking to add a few more insurance runs to continue to dominate against St. Andrews. Meanwhile, the Knights hoping to keep Reinhardt at bay. This one is popped up. A few Knights around it, and it was nearly lost in the air by the catcher Rosario. He sped up to secure that one.
Now batting, number 19, the catcher, Dylan Martin.
So the backstop for Reinhardt, Dylan Martin, is now at the plate. So the new man on the mound, Tyler Barfield, doing a really nice job. He's starting to hold this Eagle lineup at bay. Really calming things down for them. Barfield, 6'3" junior, a Laurinburg, North Carolina native. So a guy that's playing for his home institution. Barfield now in his 3rd season as a member of the Knights and making just his 1st appearance of the year. Right there walks Dylan Martin. So now Jacob Prophet coming up to the plate. Barfield appeared in 18 games in 2022, 14 in 2023, and this against the Eagles of Reinhardt, his 1st appearance of the year. First pitch, a strike of this at bat from Barfield. So at some point, St. Andrews starting to feel like they're running out of time to get themselves back into this game. It's already going to be a tall task. It can be even more difficult if they get in a position you don't want to make it any harder than it needs to be.
Sounds good.
near the target.
It's like, it's before it's like before the target.
So Sam Kilgore, the pinch runner, makes his way into scoring position after stealing second.
And then like, you know,
Counts now 1-1. This one popped up high by Lewis, high into the air, and it will drop. And after 5, Reinhardt still ahead, 7 runs to nothing.
Now pitching number 6, Kobe Allison. Now batting number 10, the third baseman.
Set to resume play here in the 6th inning. St. Andrews reeling, currently down 7 runs to nothing against the Eagles. Reinhardt firmly in control of this one.
It is.
Things cannot be going any worse right now for St. Andrews. And this one, a grounder, corralled by Allen, and he makes the throw to first.
Now batting number 24, left fielder Isaiah Martin.
So one man already gone for the Knights. Isaiah Martin, the outfielder, back up to the plate. Martin 0 for 1 so far, and it's been a struggle for him all throughout this series. And this one, a well-hit ball by Martin off the wall. And Isaiah Martin rounding first, headed to second, and he will get there. So a double for Martin as he tries to get off the schneid a little bit and help his team find themselves back into the ball game. A double there from Isaiah Martin. And Ojea coming up to the plate now. Ojea 1 for 2 so far in this ball game. But a nice job by Martin, just sticking with it. He struggled at times throughout this series, but right there coming away with a huge double. So now a man is in scoring position, and the Knights just have to little by little try their best to chip away at this 7-run advantage that the Eagles have built. Of course, they are running out of time to do so because they are down to their last 5 outs of the game. That pitch is low and into the dirt by Allison, and Martin easily makes his way to third. So Kobe Allison, the Hendersonville, Tennessee native, is back on the mound, and this isn't the first time that we've seen him today, as he came in during Reinhardt's first game of this doubleheader against St. Andrews. So making his second appearance of just this day. This one popped up and will go on the wrong side of the net and foul. Now the count stands at 2-1. That pitch outside and off the plate. And the ball thrown by Allison, and Ojea will make his way to first. Now runners in the corners for the Knights.
Now batting, number 8, the first baseman, Bryson Weber.
Bever at the plate and very nearly gets struck by that pitch from Allison. Instead, it's just a ball, and it appears that there will be a discussion on the mound, a visit from Coach Burton. So he'll talk to Allison as well as the rest of the infield. A new pitcher in for the Reinhardt Eagles, number 36, Brett Allen. The junior righty will be making his 6th appearance of the season. So Brett Allen enters as he attempts to help the Eagles maintain their 7-0 advantage. Reinhardt so far has just been cruising to a victory. We'll see if that will continue here. Brett Allen, the junior righty out of Newcastle, Australia, formerly of Barton Community College. So that pitch strikes the batter, and he will make his way to first. And the bases are loaded for St. Andrews, and this is not a position that they are unfamiliar with. Remember, at one point in the 3rd inning, the bases were loaded for the Knights, but they were unable to come away with any runs. Right now, again, bases loaded, just one man gone as Chance Bloom makes his way up to the plate. That pitch a bit high from Allen, and ball 1. That pitch, a strike from Allen.
Yeah, last night. First game today. Alright, we'll see you later.
This one is popped up by Bloom in the shallow left. It will be corralled by Vargas, and the runner is held at third base. So the Knights, with 2 outs now, in danger of leaving the bases loaded for the second time in this ball game. And it's not like St. Andrews hasn't had their chances. Reinhardt only with 3 more hits than the Knights. And then on a few different occasions, St. Andrews leaving runners stranded. This one popped up by Murillo deep in the center field, and it will be corralled. And for the second time today, St. Andrews leaves 3 runners stranded on base. Score remains 7-0 Eagles. Set to resume play here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Reinhardt firmly ahead, 7 runs to nothing against St. Andrews. And they have been dominant against the Knights so far throughout this weekend. A 12-2 victory on Friday night. Followed that up with a 12-1 victory in the first game of our doubleheader today. And now firmly ahead 7-0 against the Knights yet again. Richard Castro at the plate for the Eagles for the first time in this ball game, but not for the first time today. He did come in as a pinch hitter going up against the Eagles, going up against the Knights in the first game of this doubleheader. Count now stands at 0-2. Barfield remains on the mound for St. Andrews. Swing and miss there from Castro. Strike number 3. So this is important for Barfield as he tries to keep this Eagle lineup at bay, slow things down for them, keep them from doing any further damage. St. Andrews already down. St. Andrews already down by 7 runs. Any more runs can make things get even more difficult as they're down to their last 3 outs of this ball game. That pitch, a strike. These have absolutely not have been ideal circumstances. That pitch, a ball from Barfield.
Bottom 6. But yeah, should be. Yeah, should be like. Game be over if you score 3.
Swing and miss there from Rooker. And strike 2. Count is 3-2. Pitch from Barfield. Outside for ball number 4. And Rooker makes his way to first. Now Nash Kroll coming up to the plate, the first baseman. Kroll 0 for 3 so far in this ball game. And for what it's worth, Barfield has definitely stepped up throughout this game, coming right in and really stymieing this Reinhardt lineup. A grounder by Kroll, double play chance here. But Kroll legs it out. Nash Kroll legging that one out, getting safe at first.
Now batting number 10, the third baseman, Jared Burley.
So that's 2 outs now on the board. And now Jared Burney coming back up to the plate. Burney is 1 for 3 so far in this ball game. Another strike thrown by Barfield. It's now an 0-2 count. This one a grounder. It's corralled and the tag is made on the bag at second. So St. Andrews is down to their last 3 outs. Can they come away with a miracle victory, or will Reinhardt cruise to an AAC victory yet again? St. Andrews is down to their last 3 outs. And this is our first time seeing Will Benjamin at the plate. Will Benjamin, the sophomore from Wake Forest, North Carolina. And Benjamin pops this one up in the right field, and it is corralled. St. Andrews, just 2 more outs left in this game, and they're going to need to build some momentum and in a hurry if they're going to find a way to win this one.
Now batting number 3, Caden and Tucci.
Are all these guys in there?
Yes.
Who's a pitcher?
Yeah.
I think it's another. Yeah, number 3.
Another pinch hitter in the game. Caden Santucci, junior from Tampa, Florida, is now in the game for St. Andrews. Santucci had 9 at-bats across 30 games in 2022. In 2023, 11 at-bats across 23 games that he appeared in. So far this season, he's appeared in 5 games and has 5 at-bats. Now making his 6th in his 6th appearance. This one a grounder, corralled by Bernie. Bernie 2-hops this one and makes the throw to Kroll at first. St. Andrews is down to just their last out.
So what's that?
No, he called it foul.
So now Wolf, pardon. Another pinch hitter in the game for St. Andrews, Caleb Deli. And Deli pops this one up high in the left field. Jamel Rookert's under it, and he corrals it. And that ends the ball game. Reinhardt completes the clean sweep of St. Andrews. They win 7-0. Thank you guys for joining us for this edition of Reinhardt Baseball here at Ken White Field in Waleska, Georgia. And we will see you guys next time, next week, in a top 25 matchup between the Eagles and the top 10 ranked Tennessee Wesleyan Bulldogs.